Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. In this video, I'm gonna show you a little project I've been working on for the past few months, I think. And basically, it's a rage platformer where you control a gun or different guns, and you try to climb obstacles like these. I know it's a weird game, I'm not gonna lie. It's a very weird game. I don't even know if there's a market for it. But basically, it's designed to be a frustrating experience unless you invest enough time to master it. Okay, so as you can see, you can collect and pick up different guns, each feel different, and it can be fun when you practice. Okay, it's not a game where you are immediately good at, so you have to really time your shots. I know it looks easy because I'm playing it and I've practiced a lot because I'm developing the game, so yeah, I'm gonna be good at it. But basically, it's a frustrating game in its core, okay? So it's similar to Getting Over It or Jump King, and I just wanted to make a similar game because I think it's a good little game you can practice your programming in. And basically, one of the main objectives of me starting this game was to basically get experience in my own projects. So I've made, so yeah, again, one of the biggest objectives was to practice programming techniques and game design or game programming techniques. So the guns are following a inheritance structure. I can show you. So basically I have this little main gun here, and this is the parent class. Obviously this is also inheriting from the parent class. But essentially it works like this. You make a parent class, and the parent class has all the stuff you would expect from a pistol. So you would expect a pistol to fire or reload or jump in this case. And then I can easily make new weapons and essentially edit the inherited parameters. So as you can see, I have different guns and I can easily change the parameters of it. So I can change the maximum shoot force. So let's say I put in 5,000 here, and now I should be firing quite a massive shot. As you can see, the force is really high now. I can change how much the gun weighs. So if I go something like 500,000, I don't think I will be able to float at all. Yeah, as you can see, it will drag me down immediately. And like this, I can easily make different type of guns. I can make automatic guns within just changing parameters. Obviously, I had to code all this functionality. And basically, one of my main goals was to make the parent class as well designed, so I can easily make different weapons by just pressing some buttons, right? And I think it works quite great. I could make this revolver, within minutes. And I think it feels great. And I also made like different classes that can talk to each other. So this lever can talk to the door. So when you shoot this lever, it will open the door. Same for this here. So I have these little fans that basically give you a nice little updrift. I can show you how it works. Let me just grab my player here. Let me just move them over there. Okay. And right now you would have to shoot the lever to activate it, but I don't want to spend too much time on it, so I'm just going to activate it really simply here. And as you can see, it's on, and if I go into it, it will basically boost me up. And I activated this fan, but essentially that's the functionality. So the different classes can talk to each other, so the fans know what type of gun I'm in, what I'm using, and if the gun has overlapped. And basically it's a little cool project I was making, so I can practice some of the programming designs. And I also made this little hammer. It's cursed, I admit it, but essentially like I mentioned, the game is supposed to be a similar experience to Getting Over It or Jump King, so you have to expect some difficult moments in the game. Let me just remove some triggers here because I don't want to torture you with music. Okay, so basically when you go to that area, which is not final, by the way. I've made it so it automatically turns night, and there's a day-night cycle implemented. And these hammers are quite cool in my opinion, but they're frustrating. So as you can see, they will try to knock you down every time you get close to them. So if I try to get really close to them, as you can see, they will hit me down. So to evade them, you basically have to try to get to that platform without 1 second. Okay, I'm getting too invested right now, but okay, so basically you have to try to avoid getting too close to them, like so. If I could actually be good at my own game, but you have to try to. Okay, this is embarrassing, but you have to try to go on. Oh no. Okay, I think you get the point. You basically have to be far away from them as much as possible so it doesn't hit you. And these are the triggers. So if you overlap any of these triggers, these hammers will trigger. Okay, so basically there's quite a bit of space for you to navigate to so they don't hit you. But yeah, I think these are quite fun. And there's a really nice one over here. I think players will appreciate this one. So when you get, let's say, to that point, let me just put it right here. So when you get to that point, you will be greeted with a very friendly hammer, which can potentially knock you all the way back to this position. Okay, so you have to be careful. I plan to do some of these, but I have had place tests done, and apparently it's very difficult for people. So I don't know if I have reached the right audience, but I will be implementing checkpoints in normal mode. There is going to be different difficulties. But I also want to actually talk about the difficulties I faced when making this. And one of the biggest one was the visual style. So as you can see, this style is like quite cel shaded. It has really hard shadows, and it basically is a stylized game. And the reason for that is I tried realistic or semi-realistic designs, but none of them really worked. None of them really clicked. And one of the few things I personally always believe about games is that stylized games will always have a upper hand, because if you're trying to make a really realistic game, chances are in 10-20 years it won't hold up as nicely. But if you have a stylized game, it can hold up anytime because it's stylized, right? So if you think about Wind Waker, it's an old game, but it's still a great looking game even today. So if it was released today, no one would complain, I guess. So that was one of my main objectives, and I can show you how the game felt and looked like before. So this is one of the earliest footages I still have. It's very low resolution, but you can see that the gun feels very floaty. Here I was experimenting with like automatic guns, but this is the old weapon model. And as you can see, the footage is not slowed down. The gun just felt that way. I don't know what I was thinking, but the gun felt like it was basically floating underwater or in space. I don't know how else to say it. It didn't feel great. At the time, I felt it was okay, but after a while, it didn't. So this was the next iteration, I guess. Let me just turn off the sound. And you can see it's a tad more realistic. It has like Fresnel effect rocks. The weapon model is still the old one, but the feel of the gun, I hope you noticed that, but it's very floaty. As you can see, it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's floaty, and the spin rate is very fast. So even my friends who I gave it to, they managed to complete it, but I still feel bad for it because retrospectively, it was one of the most impossible games one could do, right? Because the spin rate is so fast and the gun feels floaty. I guess that compensates for it, but it still didn't feel right. Right now, the gun feels snappy, it feels quick, it feels responsive, so I'm really happy about that. The other one we have is the same. I don't know why all of this is so low resolution, but basically it's the same scene you saw before, just at night. And you can see how floaty the gun looks. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right at all. Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, the visual style here, it was very hard to make the gun look apart, so make the gun look visible. Right now I have like these little buffers. Where's my gun? Let me see. Yeah, where's my gun? So if the gun is behind some obstacle, it'll come through, as you can see. And I can also enable outlines for the gun. I haven't done it here because this is a little old build, but basically I also have outlines. And I think the gun is visually much more distinct, right? And again, if you are behind some obstacle, it is visible. And this was, I think, one iteration before I finally nailed the look, I guess. Maybe you can tell me if the game is looking nice or not. But this was like the iteration before, and I have not changed the speed of the footage here. The gun just felt floaty, okay? As you can see, it looks weird. It doesn't look physical at all. So I really had to work on getting the physics of the gun right. A lot of the gun is actually using some custom physics behavior. So I can have a lot of control over it and tweak it as much as I want. And I even, like I mentioned, I can, the base class is as flexible, so I can make automatic guns on the fly. So I have a little AK over here, and the gun is fully automatic, and you know, is more uncontrollable the more you hold down the shoot button. One of the reasons for that is I don't want the player to just get the correct angle and just hold the button down and win. So he has to also pace the automatic rifle. And I can show you some of the guns I've made so far. So these are the guns I've made so far. So we have this little cute AK, we have the little hot dog pistol, we have our main gun, our basic gun, and we have the revolver. The eyes, I want to give the gun a personality because the game will have a story, believe it or not. So the story for now is that the game basically malfunctioned, and instead of you controlling a platformer hero, a regular platformer hero, your consciousness is basically transferred into a little prop, and that prop happens to be a weapon. So your goal is to climb a mountain where there's supposedly a machine that can turn you into a regular platformer hero. Okay, so yeah, that was a little devlog or dev diary I made. So basically, I'm working on a little shooting game or platformer game where you control different guns. And yes, let me know if this is something you want to see more of, or if you want to try yourself. There's a Steam page in the link in the linked video's description. So let me know if this is the type of game you would ever like to play. I know there might not be a market for it. It's such a niche project, but it's a good little project to practice some of the principles of programming. So yeah, let me know if this is a type of video or type of game you would like to see more of. For the next video, I'm going to make a shotgun, and the way I do weapons is actually quite scuffed. I just draw them on a sheet of paper with my pen, and then I just make a photo with my phone and just model it based on that. And yeah, if you want to see that, let me know. And for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.